Good evening. So, welcome to yet another session of Ayurveda. I know it's holiday season now, It is Christmas Eve today. A lot of people are celebrating Christmas worldwide. So, today we are going to discuss about, what are things you have to follow in winter season. So, let's start. So these ask me anything. Good evening, Tarun. So ask me anything session. These sessions happen every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time on my YouTube channel. Okay. So I think this is the 34th week we are having this without a break. Next week we are going to have a break because it is New Year Eve. Okay. So. So let us get into today's session, that is the winter regime in Ayurveda. And as you know, all of us, most part of the world is going through winter right now. So what all things you have to follow to stay healthy in winter is what we are going to see. Okay, so to start off, let me just try to, in short, try to tell you what Ashtanga Hridaya says about winter regime. Okay, so let us see first what are the seasons and how seasons have been divided. Okay, so Ritucharya. So Ashtanga Hridaya, the third chapter of Ashtanga Hridaya deals with Ritucharya. Ritu is season, Charya is the regime. So what all regimes you have to follow in each and every Ritu. So according to Indian calendars, we have got 6 Ritus. European, they have got only 4. India, we have got 6. And this 6 has been divided into 2, the Uttarayana and the Dakshinayana. The sun basically travels as sun rises. You will see every day it slowly goes towards the north. And that is called the Uttarayana. Okay. And that is a time where it gets hotter and hotter. And it is also called Ashtanga Kala because those hot season, it actually starts sucking energy from nature. And the next 3 seasons or 6 months is basically called the Visaga Kala or the Dakshinayana, where the sun slowly starts, rising. When it rises, it is slowly towards the south pole. So it is the energy giving 6 months. That is called the Visaga Kala or the Dakshinayana. Okay, so we'll see, Dakshinayana or Visaga Kala are the Varsha Ritu, that is the rains, the Sharad, the autumn, and Hemanto, the early winter. This is a time when you actually get a lot of energy. And the Uttarayana is the winter, spring, and summer, or the Shishira, Vasanta, and Grishma. If you note, the cold season which we are going to discuss right now is basically Hemanta and Shishira. So if we look, Hemanta is the end of Dakshinayana, while Shishira is in the beginning of Uttarayana. Okay, so Hemanta is early winter, and Hemanta is considered to be one of the most beautiful and the most healthiest seasons. Okay, we'll come to that later. All other seasons you have got the Vata, Pitta, Kapha going up, going down, but Hemanta is something where you don't have too much of disturbances. But that's where the cold season starts. So the cold season is end of Dakshinayana and the beginning of Uttarayana. Okay. Now let us see what all things you have to do in the cold seasons. So the winter regime, Agni is very high. Okay, since it is cold outside. When it is cold, what happens is you don't sweat. And sweat is one way in which the body releases heat. So when that is not happening, the heat gets trapped inside the system, and since it is very cold outside, it gets back into the main part of the body, and so the heat inside the body is slightly high, on the higher side. So the Agni is good. Your appetite is much high. You would have noticed that in winters you are more hungry. Okay, so you should never skip your food during winters. And if you ever cut down on the amount of, never skip or don't even cut down. If you cut down, you will notice that the metabolism will start eating up the tissue. So you will have Dhatu Kshaya. Okay, nights are longer, days are short. So when the nights are longer, normally people have their food before sunset, right? So before sunset, when they have the food, and when the night are longer, by the time they get up in the morning, they get up hungry. Okay, so don't miss food. So the strength is high because it is dominated by night. Okay, and you have to get up and start doing one vatahara abhyanga, applying oils, and food also. Also, sorry, you have to do abhyanga, vatahara, abhyanga, and foot, which are written in the bracket, basically means you can also go through foot massage. Is not massaging the foot, massage with the feet. So it is really, strong massage, not with the hands. People start doing massages with the feet. Okay, and then what? Regular exercises have to be done. Hot water shower has to be done, and after the shower, kunkuma lepam on and agaru. Agaru is, it's a plant from which we make, actually agarbatti is basically made from agar wood. Okay, so that agar, it's scented. So that dhupa also can be, you can get exposed to that. Kunkuma is actually saffron. Saffron, it actually gives you good smell. It's good for the skin, and it is also heat generating. Kunkuma is not cold. So all these things you can do in the winter season. Other things as far as food goes, okay, you can mix a lot of ghee in this in your food, because you need that kind of energy, and food should be snigdha. Okay, you can have rice, wheat, black gram, milk, everything which is prepared out of rice, wheat, black gram, milk, etc. Different varieties. It can be paisam, it can be a lot of things. Whatever you can be innovative, and you can make things with all these things and have. Okay, rice, fresh rice can be consumed during this season because your agni is really good. It can digest food, and it is strength promoting. Okay, and as far as oil goes, because it also has to be vatahara, you can use sesame oil. Okay, lifestyle now. After food, let us get into the lifestyle. Warm water for all wash. When you're washing your hands, your feet, your eyes, your everything, you should be basically using warm water and not cold water. Okay, and then cover with a warm, thick skin cloth in the first part of the winter. As the winter gets colder and colder, then you can probably go for blankets. But once the weather starts becoming cold, you should cover yourself up and don't get exposed to the cold. Lie down on thin beds to start off. Okay, after that it can get thicker and thicker. Exposure to sunlight as much as possible. So whenever you have got early mornings and late evenings might be cold, but during the daytime, yes, you can get exposed to the sun. And also Swedana, you can also do what? You can probably do a steam, or you can sit beside fire and heat your body up. You should always wear footwear. No walking barefoot in the cold season, because leg is basically a sthana of vata, and the more and more it gets colder, then more and more vata goes up, and you start getting cramps and pains. Okay, and increase. So friends, or your partner, mate, wife, whoever it is, you can have more. Probably you can sit close together. You can hug and sit. More of body contact, so that for each of you, the body heat actually goes up. You can transfer heat, so to keep the body warm. Okay, and the home also, you can have a fireplace. You can burn things and all those things to keep the house also warm. Okay, so these are the few things which you can follow. If you have got your questions, you can start asking questions. So I'll answer them. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is, once the season starts getting cold, okay, don't indulge in things which will actually increase the cold a bit too much. Okay, so these sessions happen, as I said, at 9 p.m. IST Tuesday every week. So winter, people sometimes take cold water showers, or they expose themselves to cold, might be ice, or they walk without, I think, with very fine clothes and get exposed to cold. Getting exposed to cold is completely prohibited during winters. And whenever you have got the sun, you should wear that light cloth, and you should wear a footwear, and then start getting exposed to sunlight to keep your body warm. And one major rule which I would say in winter is, since your agni is high, Never ever skip your food. Never cut down on the amount of food you eat too much. Never do try to do starving so that you will lose weight, and don't do all those things. This season, since the nights are longer, you would have noticed it is more of kapha predominant. So your strength of your body also is high. So you can actually do a lot of exercises. So the kind so this is basically Visarga Kala. Okay, the beginning of Visarga Kala. Visarga Kala, where you actually get a lot of strength. So summers are something where, because it's very hot, nature actually takes a lot of energy from you. You will not feel like eating food. You'll be feeling like drinking too much of water. So that's the time where you exercise is not supposed to be done, at least in excess. Summers. But winters, okay, summers you'll not feel like eating too much. So don't do exercise also. Winter, since your Agni is really good and you have to eat, you'll get that extra strength. You have to do exercises to stay healthy. Okay, otherwise you'll put on weight. Okay, but don't starve to lose weight during the cold seasons. Okay, so any questions here? I can start taking questions. And then place to place it differs. If you go up north in India, it is extremely cold, and if you come down south, it could be Kerala or Tamil Nadu, you'll notice that the winters are not very harsh. Okay, it's not like we wear a sweater or a pullover. It's cool, that's it. So for us, we get more sun than when you go up north. So you can have that slight differences, changes here and there, but by and large, these are the general rules which you have to follow to get through the colder seasons. Okay. I know there are very few people today, might be because people are in a holiday mood. They have traveled. Today is Christmas Eve and tomorrow is Christmas. People are not at home. So if you have got any questions, yes, I'll take questions. Or else it will be a very quick wrap up today. So I don't see any questions coming. Great. Okay, so I would say, don't indulge in too much of spicy foods. Yeah, Valishri, you can ask a question. So don't indulge too much in spicy foods also. Yes, you can have, because your body will have the strength for this. But still, you have to eat food really well, and then you have to start doing exercises. You can apply oil, you can do exercises. This is a time for you to go for massages on a regular basis. Your body becomes looser, and you have to do very, very, very good exercises to stay trim in this season. Otherwise you'll put on weight, because your appetite is very good. You feel like eating a lot of things, especially sweets and all those things. Yes, you can. Yeah, Sanskriti, I understand. And what happens there is one advantage when you is it I don't know, is it Canada or the US? With Canada is really horrible, or probably Finland or some other countries, and even really bad. So I understand Sanskriti. Sorry, let me put that question here. So we live in a cold country where 9 months of the year it is very cold. Okay, vegetarian South Indian diet. Yes, diet is something we don't focus too much on vegetarian or non-vegetarian here. Being veg or non-veg is again a choice. Okay, it doesn't matter too much wherever you, just because it is cold. You might see that a lot of people depend on non-veg foods because it takes a longer time for it to digest. So it'll stay in the tummy for longer. But you don't have to. Okay, So here we basically mean that you have to have good amount of foods. Okay, you can't cut down on food when the weather is very cold, because you will always start feeling hungry. And if you don't give food there, that metabolism, it starts, it will actually eat up your tissues. We call that dhatu kshaya. Okay, if you don't give it food, the fuel is there. If you don't, indhanam we call it. You have to give it indhanam. If you don't give it fuel, the metabolism which will start taking the nutrition from your body. So rice, since you said you are from South India, rice and all veggies, underground veggies are actually good in this season. You can have those. You can have normal food. You can have milk. You can have ghee. But also make it a point. Sweets, you can have sweetened foods. Okay, milk. Okay, wheat. Everything you can have, no problem. But you should also make a point that you get decent amount of exercise also. Just because it is cold, you feel that you can't go out and do, then you should have alternate things, like go to a fitness center or a gym, or then you have to actually work out, or you'll start putting on weight. That's what happens mostly in colder countries. You need not tweak anything. Whatever you're used to, you can have it. As I said, you can include more of milk, ghee, wheat, rice, everything you can have. You can have all vegetables, and and since the nights are longer, your strength of the body also is much higher. You have to really exercise, Sanskriti. Oh, Sanskriti. So it's Lakshmi here in Trishur. Then, right now when you are here, you can normally have a normal food. But otherwise, when you are there in that cold place, I would say stick to your natural food, but probably you can eat a little bit more rich and nourishing food. Having milk during fasting, is it fine? I've observed it does not fit me. See, I think, Valishri, what you mean by not fitting you is in the sense the moment you have milk, probably you have got a tendency to pass soft bowels, or you might be feeling gassy. Okay, I would say this is because of the pitta going up. Okay, if a person has got too much of pitta, you drink milk, or you drink grape juice, or you drink sugarcane juice, you'll see that the person passes soft bowels. That is because of pitta, too much of pitta. So if milk doesn't suit you, it is okay, don't take milk. I would say the other alternate for you is to have tender coconut water. Okay, the reason is because the pitta is too high, and if you feel that you are getting extremely tired because of that, if I don't know whether it is a complete 24-hour fast or a 18-hour fast or whatever it is, but either way, I would say if fasting is not suiting you, then I don't think you have to do it. But if only milk is a problem, then I think you can look for other alternatives like tender coconut water. Okay, UK gets very cold, especially during the winters. It becomes extremely harsh. It is not easy. Okay. But I would say, you can stick to what South Indian. I don't think you have to go for paneer. You have to go for tofu. No, you don't have to. If you want to have it, you can have once in a while. But by and large, whatever you're used to, you can have. As I said just before, you can have milk. You can have ulund or urad. Okay. You can have wheat, milk, ghee, everything. You can make different kinds of palahar, we call that, different kinds of foods with all these things and have. Okay. See that, as I said, you don't cut down on food too much, and you don't skip your food. But exercise, you have to do. Okay. Any other question? Muskan. What to do for constipation? Okay, constipation is a very, very, very broad word, Muskan. Okay, constipation can happen due to many, many reasons. One, people who eat less, they'll be constipated. One thing. Second thing is that people who don't eat the right kind of balanced food, constipation can happen. People who consume less liquids, constipation can happen. Now, apart from all these things, there is something. If a person is by and large very skinny, thin, as we call Vata Prakriti, he will be habitually constipated. Okay, that means the gut is dry. So if a person's gut is I'm telling you, Muskan, the way we manage constipation is different from different people. So just because if a person he travels, he normally has normal motions, but he's traveled a little bit, he doesn't have, and he's got constipated. If you just give him Triphala Churnam, 1 day or 2 days, he'll start passing motions and he'll set into that routine. But if a person is habitually constipated, see, if you look, any powder is drying up. So a person is habitually constipated, you take Kayam Churn or you take Triphala Churnam, you will pass motion once or twice. After a point of time, you will not pass motions with Triphala Churnam or Kayam Churnam, because the tendency of any powder is to again dry it up. So if you have got a dry gut and your stools are extremely dry and you find it very hard, then the best choice for you to is actually lubricate it. You can actually take castor oil at bedtime or mixture of castor oil and ghee, and slowly over a period of time reduce the amount of castor oil you take so that the ghee can take over, lubricate your gut, and then you'll pass motions freely. So management changes in different conditions, Muskan. Tender coconut is very popular. I know. See, they only look at the nutritional part of it. Okay, it contains potassium, it contains calcium, it contains that, it contains sodium, lot of things it contains, and so that it is actually very good if a person is dehydrated. I do understand. Okay, but it does not grow anywhere there. It is actually, narigel odagam snigdham. Okay, it is snigdha and it is shita also. It is very cold. So if you consume that in a cold country, especially in cold seasons, it might not be very good. That's the reason why coconut grows only in places where it is warm. Okay, it is actually meant for people who live in the coastal areas or the areas where it is warm. Okay, I hope I've answered that, Lakshmi. It is not suitable for cold climates, but for taste, yeah, you have it once in a while, you keep it outside, it warms it. Probably in the summers in UK, you leave it outside, it's slightly warm, you can have it. And sometimes, I also tell people to mix equal quantities of water into tender coconut and have it through the whole day. Don't have it too concentrated like that. Mix water, you can have it throughout the day. But by and large, it cools the system really a bit too much. So not advised to have it during cold seasons or in cold countries. Okay. Any other question? So normally you will see that in winters the body gets very cold. Okay, and the same reason why you get extremely hungry after you have taken I don't say a shower, you have taken a bath, either in the bathtub where you're completely immersed in water, or you go to a swimming pool, take a bath and come, or you get into the river. So what happens with the body? The body gets completely cold from outside. Okay, and you don't sweat at all. So when the body gets completely cold from outside, we call the Agni. Okay, Agni actually escapes and comes into the gut, and so the moment you finish that half an hour or 45 minutes of swimming pool swimming, you come out, you feel like eating an elephant, right? You're so hungry. That is because the Agni actually escapes and goes inside. Same thing happens during a winter season also. It's so cold that the Agni goes inside. You are extremely hungry. You have to eat food. Okay. What's the next one? Okay. I understand that, Yes, I'll try to do a session on infant health. Okay, baby food, etc. Babies of age 6 months to 12 months. Okay, so you mean infancy. Okay, the only thing is that I would say, Lakshmi, is it's always good to different. See, I would say, if I put across something, Ayurveda text also mentions a little bit of things, but if I would put across information about a child, it would be knowledge which I would be sharing from, which I got from my grandma and my people around me, how kids and infants, what we feed kids and infants in Kerala, or this part of the world. It is Tamil Nadu, just state, just about 500 kilometers from here, or 300 kilometers from here, things change. Another 500 kilometers, things change. So I would say, I can do a session, it's not that, but I would say it's always good for you to go back to your ancestors, your mother, your grandmom, or somebody, and try to collect information and see how you were brought up, or how your mom was brought up when she was an infant, because things keep on changing. Because I sometimes I get consultations from people who are from Gujarat, and they want to know what to feed their child. I sometimes get extremely confused. I have to do a lot of homework to learn what a Gujarati baby is being fed. It's actually easy for them to contact their grandmother or great grandmother who might be still alive, and find out what is the best thing for them, because things change. Okay, hope I'm clear there. But still, I can do a session. Okay, I can. Any other question? So I would say it is Christmas season and New Year season. I know it is cold out there, but don't overeat. Eat the right kind of foods. Yes. Okay. Party responsibly. Okay. And you should basically be enjoying the festive season rather than getting sick after. I've seen a lot of people who I've got a few calls, people telling me, and let me go through this, vacation season, Christmas and New Year, and I'll come back for a detoxification. So I don't think that's the right approach, that you abuse your body this whole 1 week, 10 days, and then come back for both are two extremes. Okay. I would say it's always good to be moderate about what's happening, eat a little bit of good, bad food, be moderate about it. Okay. And I don't want to spoil the party. I say you enjoy the festival season, but don't push it a bit too much. My father is 52. His weight. My first thing what comes to my mind could be diabetic. Okay. Just see if he is diabetic. That's one thing. Other thing, 10 kilograms in a year can also be TB. I'm just thinking, too many things. And the most common thing could be diabetes. It can be TB. It can be a lot of reasons. I don't know. Or it can also be he has got malabsorption issues. That means he is not absorbing food. Okay, so you say he's pre-diabetic 6.1, so that might not be the reason. So he might be passing loose motions multiple times. He might feel like passing motions after he is eating food. I say, something like a Grahani Rog, or something like IBS. So I think he is not absorbing his food really well, Muskat. So I think it's better you consult somebody and see what is actually going. Or endoscopy, I think stool culture or other things you might be able to catch something. Okay. So that's what. So it is something like IBS is what you're telling. So I think that could be the reason he is not absorbing the nutrients properly. So as I said, it could be diabetes, it could be TB, or it could be something like Grahani, where he's not absorbing the nutrition properly. Okay, you can meet a good doctor, and then I think they'll be able to solve it for you. No problem, Muskan. Okay. Sumukha. How about workout in gym, running and calorie? Yes, you can do. Okay, you can do workouts, you can do gym, you can do running, all those things during the season, because you will have the strength. You can actually do decent amount of exercise. Okay. Is this the right season to put on weight? Yes. Okay, your appetite is good. You can digest a lot of things. Okay, so this is the right time where you will put on weight. If you look at from the nature, as I said, you have got 6 months where we call the Adana Kala, where the nature takes energy, and you've got 6 months where the nature actually gives you energy. So during the hotter seasons, you'll note that every water body dries. The plants, the animals, all of them become weak. You don't feel like eating anything. You depend more on water. That is basically nature taking energy from you. Okay, and as the season gets cooler, okay, it starts raining. It starts, the flowers start, all the things you'll see. That is nature giving back, and that is so it is just like the moon. The moon becomes small big, the waning and waxing. Likewise, the human body during the hotter seasons becomes small, then during the winter season they grow. Now what is happening is we have got air conditioned throughout. We are throughout in air condition. We want to keep ourselves extremely comfortable. We always maintain winter in our lives. That's the reason why people are consistently putting on weight. They are not exposed to sun or nature, so that the nature can take something from them, so that losing is not happening. We are only gaining. Okay, so this is the right season for you to put on weight. Namaste, Lakshmi. Yeah. See, um, one part of it is that this is universal knowledge which I was taught since childhood. From our father, grandfather, and all of thing. So he also, my grandfather, he also used to teach people. He used to say, this is as I said, this is not anybody's patent thing. This is universal knowledge. So if not me, somebody else can talk about this and you can get this information. So, but thank you for acknowledging that. It's all His grace, elders' blessings, and all those things. Okay. So I think people are in the festival mood. We can continue with these sessions later. Next week we don't have, because it's New Year. So we'll come back and have it on the 7th of Feb. Okay. So enjoy the week, the coming 7 days. Okay. So Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you. As I said, enjoy and party responsibly. Okay. Namaste. Good night.